Hello, welcome back. Time to pick up where we left off and do some more PageKey streaming. So, where did we leave off? Let's try to figure that out. So, I'm pretty sure we were about to get into templating. So, let's make sure of that. Python doc site generator. We were working on the MVP here. So parsing the site YAML and then injecting config vars using something like Pydantic. Okay, so that makes sense to me. Let's get rolling and see how far we get. Only have about an hour to do this, but we'll have to make do with today. So first things first, we need to parse a config file of some sort. So I'm gonna go ahead and add. Did I add it yet? I did. I added a site YAML. So I might make a whole new file for this and call it config. And a new test folder as well. Not sure. I might just be able to create a Pydantic class without too much testing, because Pydantic really takes care of all that for us. So actually, I'm just going to see what ChatGPT comes up with. Hello, I have this config. The YAML format. Can you please write Pydantic classes to parse it? Call the base class PageKey Docgen config. That's a little wordy. PageKey site. How's that? Let's try that. So while it's thinking, we'll do poetry add. Whoops. Poetry add Pydantic. And we have a good start here. Oh, I need PyYAML too. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so it gave me the class. Oh, it's only one class. That's so easy. I'm going to try to write the test first. Let's see. Test can load. Let's see. Load config works with valid string. So we're going to call load config. We're going to pass the config string, which I will define real quick. Actually, it does it for us in ChatGPT, which is nice. Oh, wow, this is great. So if we give it that YAML config, then we call load config. Then we want to make some assertions. Config.project equals project name here. Copyright, author, release. So we'll just go ahead and make sure that all these get set. And now we can go run the test. And it fails. Load config's not defined, so we'll go ahead and define it. Config string, do nothing. What's next? Still not defined. Oops. From PageKey Docgen config import load config. Okay. Next. So it returned to none. So now we can do our implementation. So we're going to take the string. Well, we'll call this YAML string. Might have to, I think we can fairly assume that it's YAML. So yeah, I like this. This is a good way to do it. I'm going to take that. Thanks, ChatGPT. I'm going to call that site config and I'm going to import YAML. Yeah, YAML config is a good way to put it. Okay. And now we'll grab this. I like it. Does it pass? Yep. Okay. That was easy. So we have the config loader. And it should error out if it doesn't work, whatever. So I'm just going to add config loader. Okay. And now we should load that config and substitute it in using Jinja 2 templates. So this might be a weird order to do it, but I am going to go ahead and add project name, or rather project. Actually, I can just do config.project and pass in the config. Config.author. Config.author. Config.release. So that should work. Anything else? Not right now. And that's it. So now let's just let's turn this into a Jinja 2 thing. So we can add poetry add Jinja 2. Oh, I guess I already did. That's okay. All right, so when we are in CLI, we should basically call the git config and then inject it instead of copying the file. So we'll have to change render template to take the config as an input. There's nothing to change in these two files, so we don't have to worry about it, but we can use the same method to render both of them. So this should take a config value, and before we call this, we should load the config. But we'll be good test-driven development people and specify that in the test first. So well, first let's modify the render template. So figure out where render template copies file when valid. I'm going to change this render template renders template works when file valid. So render template, I'm going to change the template to render to conf.py. And I'm going to specify that we should call jinja2.render. I don't want to over specify this. Oh, hey, Gil SFE. So you're getting really low quality. Sorry. I don't know why. I turned up the stream settings, so it should be coming across in high quality. I can double check the settings. But yeah, the output is 4,000 kilobits per second, so should be outputting a pretty good quality. But if that doesn't change, I guess let me know. But thanks for joining again. I remember you from the other day. Glad you're back. All right, so I'd really like to mock the output of loading this file somehow, and then just make sure that the replacement occurs. So do I have a core function that does that already, that gets the string of a file? We might have to write one real quick. So before I get into changing this test, I can change the name. Okay. Everything should still pass. Okay. So let's write a function called getFileAsString. And I'm just gonna do one test for this function. So getFileAsString, my file.txt. Actually, honestly, I might just, this is such a low-level function. Let's see if ChatGPT can write it. Or, yeah, I don't know, maybe not. That's kind of cheating. Let's see, getFileAsString. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Let's see if it works. I don't really feel like thinking about it. No, don't write the test. Can you write the rest of this test function and the implementation? It's kind of a bad habit to have it write the test too. Let's just have it implement the function. Can you implement this function? Oh. Okay, so with open, it does the read, returns the file content, nice. And it has some tests if it's not found or something else happens badly. The error handling is nice, but I might just go the simple way. So really all we need to be doing is calling file.read. This is where it gets tough. How do you mock the output of open to test this function? That's always tough. Mock open, I know there's a special function for that. Mock open, yep. Aha. Nice. So paid version only $20. Is it $20 a month, or is that what this is? I've never really looked into it. Oh, it's per month. I don't know. I mean, this version works well enough for me that I don't really feel like I need to get the paid version. It does a pretty good job. I guess I'm a little slower, but I don't know. It does enough for me. Maybe eventually. So mock file open should be called with file name. So the file content, we can assert that the file content is equal to the mocked file content output. I guess I'd ask, do you have the paid version? Gil SFE. And if so, is it worth it? Because maybe I should. I don't know. But let's see. Okay, so I think this is a good test for our function. Open was not called. Not testing for errors right now, sorry. Not sure if file is a reserved word, but I will shadow it. Okay. So now that we have that function, which I'll do a quick commit for that. Now that I have that function, we can assert that render template should be calling that function first of all. We're not going to need this shell util anymore, so we're going to completely change this test around. So although we might need, all right, so we should get the repo root, and we should be calling module under test dot get file as string file contents yeah, so we call the repo root, and then we say that we should call mock file as string, and I guess I'll type the whole thing. Mock get file as string. We're going to assert that that's assert called with the root templates make file. Okay, this is perfect. Actually, I'm going to move this in. I'm going to say with patch. We'll do the patch in here so that we can reference the variable. Get rid of that. As mock get file string. And result equals that. And we want to assert that the repo got called. Okay. We assert that it got called with the makefile thing there. And let's say sample, or what, fake template equals config.author is the author. Okay. And then so that's perfect. Now we can say that it got that file as a string. We want to say that maybe we can have a write string to file function too. I guess we could have that. Maybe I can take this one and re-implement. Please take this function and write def write string to file string. Okay, so it did the try except again, but that's no biggie. I should do that too, but I'm not going to. Okay, so test core, we're going to say def test get write string to file. Oop. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your chat. It didn't come up until just now. It's updated all the way till 2024. Trillion of petabytes of training data, and it's plugged into the web. Wow, so that sounds a lot better. It probably has so much more info, and it's all up to date. That would be good. I'll think about it. So in this one too, we should be calling open. And so file name equals my file.txt, contents equals, or I guess what is it, data equals the data, and write string to file. Write string to file, file name, data, and my file open, assert called with file name, data, and then somehow we have to assert that we called file.write. In a unit test, how do you assert that file.write was called? Probably with like mock file open.return value or something. Right? Really? I think it's this. I think it's return value dot called. The responses are slower because it's a bigger set of data, but still faster than asking Google. Yeah, I agree. Oh, so it's actually slower if you pay for it, though? But I guess if they're higher quality, maybe it pays off. Yeah, I guess called the once with is a good way to do it. This is going to need a refactor soon. It's getting messy. Okay, so... Whoa, this looks bad. What's happening? Oh. Let me just comment this whole thing out. I didn't finish writing it. Okay, it did not call open, so open file name. Oop. First of all, it's not even right, so that should say called with write mode. Write to be called once, it was not called. And so we'll do file.write data. There you go. Okay. Now that that's done, we can go back to this guy and specify that we should be patching. I can kind of steal this. Write string to file. And then we should definitely be calling, this function with the rendered template, which is going to look like, let's see. Render template, make file, and we're going to have to pass it a config. So let's create a fake config too. Fake config equals, which we just defined, PageKey site, author equals me, the author. So it should be called with me, the author, is the author, whether we use Jinja 2 or not. Does render template return anything? I don't think it does. Okay. Missing fields, so I actually have to fill this out. So let's say project, copyright, author, release. Is there a test config? Yeah, there is. I'm just going to export this variable. Fake config equals, or let's just say def get fake config return PageKey site author, the author. I can't remember all that. Okay. Why is this erroring? There we go. So now I'm going to use this function. I'm probably going to need it in that file mostly, but we'll use that here. Get fake config, which we can import from. I think that should be okay. We don't need that anymore. Well, maybe we can just use a relative import. There we go. Okay, where were we? Fake config. So we should be calling fake config, fake template. Okay. Return value equals fake template. So that's being used, and we should be calling this with the file name, but also the config. In this case, the fake config. And then we should be calling get file as string, of course, and then when we write to the file, it should have replaced the contents of the file. So that's not going to pass, but hopefully it at least parses. Oops, relative import did not work. Let's try the other one. No module named. What if I add an init.py? How about now? Okay, we got further. Project is not defined. Oh, I guess that's true. It's already catching problems. Okay, render template takes one argument. 2 are given. Perfect. So we can go in and in core, we'll change it to accept config PageKey site. And we'll import that. Hopefully no circular import errors. Okay, good. This looks like we need to patch something that we're not patching. Shell util. Alright, I'm going to delete the call to shell util. .copy. Or comment it for now. Did not find the call to what exactly? Get file as string. Okay. Get file as string, source path. And now it's expecting us to write the string to file. So this is where we can get into Jinja 2. I'm not going to Google it. I'm just going to ask ChatGPT. So please write a snippet to use Ginger 2 to make that replacement. Oh, cool. In the past, I've had to like create an environment and all that stuff. That's really easy. So we'll import Ginger 2, and we will, what are we going to do? Create the template and render it. There's the template. Input string is file contents, and then we'll render it with config set to the config passed in by the user, and then we just return, no, we actually don't return it. We write string to file output string. Let's see if that works. Ooh, if that works, I'll be amazed on the first try. Nope. So, oh, yes, it worked. Okay, we just have to fix the test. That is so awesome. I guess it's not that exciting, but I'm still excited. So what it should really do is this. Fake config.author is the author. That should pass. Okay, look at that. So we actually can render these templates now as true Jinja 2 templates. So update render template to use config. Okay, now let's update the CLI. Do we have to update the CLI? I think we do. We almost certainly do. So render template should be called with this and the config. So we'll have to, where is it getting the config from? I guess that's a big question. I think, okay, so testing this is getting cumbersome. I wonder if we have to figure out, this would be, I'm almost tempted to say that we just don't even need to test this main method that heavily, because it's really just calling a bunch of units. But I'm so tempted to just modify this, but let's stick with it. Let's see. So we should be calling the get file contents of the config. Is there a better way to do this? Should this be a class? This is like too much to put into one test. So yeah, this should probably be a class. But I really don't feel like refactoring it right now. Should I put a to do? I just want this to work right now. And then maybe we can go fix the coverage later. Really what we need to do is, I don't even know how to test this, but let's grab the config. So config raw equals get what is it, local file something, what did we call it? This all needs to be in classes for sure, but it's good that we got a quick start on this. Get file is string, os.path.join, args.docster. Well, let's make that its own variable. Equals docster slash what is it called, site.yaml, I think. Yes, site.yaml. Okay. config raw get file string, and we will call, we'll load the config somehow. So we'll say config equals load config is a function I think that we wrote. Config raw. Perfect. And then we can just pass that config in. I don't think we broke our old unit tests, but we certainly didn't make coverage happy by doing that, but I think it'll work. So if we run PyTest. Ah! Alright, so we have to mock that out, and just, we can assert that it's called for now. Yep, let's do that. So where do I even put this? This is crazy. Before we render files, we want to call get file string. So that's between render file and get files list. This is terrible. Okay, and then after we call the get files list, we call mock get file string. Okay. There you go. And what have I done? It's locked. What happened? This is sad. Where did it get stuck? What happened? It's crazy. What did I do? Wow. That's unexpected. Alright, let's see if it was the patch or using the patch. Yield? What's going on? I think it was the patch. If I get rid of this, well, I mean, I guess I can't really get rid of one without the other. Still hangs. Hello? Okay. My headphones made a weird noise. So this patch is messed up. Why is this causing it to fail? This is atrocious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we not importing that? Get file as string. Is there a circular import? No. So okay. Are we back? The stream stopped for a sec. Everything got really slow. I think I ran out of memory there for a second. Whoa, am I killing my computer here with this? What's going on? This is nutty. What did I do? I'm going to commit. This is interrupting the stream. It's taking up so much. It's really taking I don't know what's going on here. It's almost time for stopping this stream, but let's push a little more and see if we can figure this problem out before we leave. So that literally causes the stream to stop when I do that. That's kind of funny. That doesn't make sense. Get file as string. I mean, I have to mock that. Can I mock something lower level just to get this to pass? Mock move. Ah, I see. Alright, I'm just going to steal mock open from somewhere else. Put that right at the front. Is it okay to shadow that name? Mock file open. Mock file open. Okay. And I don't even care what it does. I'm not going to make any assertions. How do we say what the output is? What? Oh no. Oh no, mock open is used in argparse. This is atrocious. I mean, we were trying to do it the right way and it was failing, so I say we, but I guess I should have said I. But anyway. That's crazy. I don't know why that's happening. Get file as string. Why would that be different? Maybe because it's referenced there in render template. That shouldn't make a difference. I don't know. Let's just test it in the integration test and see what happens. Does it actually work? Aha. Core line 76. Aha! We do need to specify that. Okay. Where's test core? Test core. So this is wrong. Ah, man. I wish I had that other commit. So what were we asserting before? Called once with data. Yes, build slash sphinx slash myfile.txt. Oh no, I blocked it up. Okay. This is nuts. This is a terrible test anyway. Okay. I'm just going to comment this whole thing out. It's an abomination. Okay, now it runs good. And perfect. Nice and simple. So we should really be calling in core. Should really be calling, I think, did we have a dest path already? dest path equals path join repo root. No, not repo root. Build Sphinx. Which is messy. Messy, messy, messy. But we're going to do it anyway. Dest path, output string. Did that work? Interesting. As soon as I get this working, I'm done. Okay, this test is wrong. Oop. This should be called with build/sphinx/makefile. Test should be right now. Yep, one failed. Okay, what's going on here? Test core 96. Aha! It did not... Wait, I updated the wrong test. That one was right. Oops. Okay. Tests are passing. What happens if we run Docgen? Does it work? Yes, it does work. And what if we look at the site? Wait, what did I put in the site config? Okay. Well, let's actually change the site config so we can actually tell if it worked. Sample project. Steve. This release. Oops, I didn't have to do that. But, okay. Oopsies. Directory. And serving. And let's see. Did not work. Oh, wait. It might have worked. I don't think it did. Oh, it did. It worked. It worked. It worked. They replaced it. So it worked. Okay. I'm satisfied. Let's call it a stream. Thanks for watching. Not very exciting, but we made some progress. So comment out horrific test. Get generation working. Get templates working. Push that, and that's enough for today. So actually, let's just think about what comes next time, and then we'll call it a day. We parsed site YAML, check. We injected the parsed config. I don't know why I put this, because I don't care. Well, nah, I'm not doing that right now. So, is this done? What else is in this roadmap? I think the Docgen MVP is done. Can get that merged, and then we should probably make a design doc, and then, yeah, that's it. So next time, the first thing that I'll do is, one more thing, and then I'll review my thingy and merge, or maybe get someone to help me review it. But one more thing we have to do is add API packages to template, which packages to API doc. Let's just call this get API doc working with site.yaml or something like that. So that'll be the order of business next time. And then we'll be done with SiteGen. We can put this in onto the other PageKey projects to generate documentation sites for them, which will be really cool. And then we can get into actual fun work, starting with PKOS, because people have been asking about PKOS. So we'll get this up to snuff. We'll write a documentation site on how to use it, and we'll get back into the fun stuff of figuring things out, which I'm really looking forward to. in the meantime, that is all. I wish I could edit this. That's okay. But yep, that's it for this stream. Thanks for watching. See ya.